can say this about season 4. It is going to be so worth the wait.
Nowhere, actually.
A wrecking machine. I'll take it.
I'm still figuring out my own style, Mark, actually.
It was great.
It took 2 minutes and I had to answer, yeah, go for it.
Are you sure you're not interested? I was like, don't ask me again. I can't refuse it twice.
In Holland, in one country.
Here are these two. She got me so deep and underwater and I drank it. That's not good.
You'll try chocolate from South Africa to Australia to England. It will taste so different.
So it's been really amazing that it's been with you after 10 long years.
The first title we were messing around with, we were going to call it Lockdown. Yeah. And then after a while, we actually kind of realised, God, this is dragging on a lot longer than what we thought it was going to be.
I didn't want to give people a reminder.
Our bass player has a band. We were like, let's go on the road, man. But and then it just came to a screeching halt.
We had to work on like how I was biting the carrot. Like I had to do it very purposefully, you know? You didn't want a weak bite, but you didn't want a bite that was too strong.
Someone jumps the stage and one of our techs just body slams him to the ground and you can see me kick him.
I guess I was too distracted. I was having too much fun. Never a bad thing.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Shona. Hello.
Hello, Mark.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts, based here in Seattle, Washington, in the United States of America. Thank you so much for joining me on this Wednesday, the 28th of April, 2021. And my guest today is a hard rockin' band from Germany. Their new record, Hellbreaker, was just released on April 9th from AFM Records. Thank you, Dustin. Please welcome to the Eclectic Arts virtual studio, Chris Howling Burks from Motorjesus.
Yes, good evening, good evening. Hello, Mark. Hello, USA. Hello, Seattle. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. Greetings from Germany.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the chance to talk to you about Motorjesus and the new album.
Yeah, no problem. Really cool to have me.
Yeah,
really great.
Yeah, I'm a longtime metalhead. I mean, the first show I ever saw was Kiss back in 1979, and I saw the Scorpions back in 1982 on the Blackout Tour, and saw Accept in '84.
I'm a little bit jealous now.
So one thing that's really interesting about Motorjesus is that you guys have been around for a long time, and some parts of the world you're very well known, rightfully so, and other parts, like here in America, you're not quite as known yet. So why do you think that is? I'm just curious about that before we talk about the new album.
Well, I think it's because of the development of the band, maybe. I mean, in the first place, in the early days, so to say, we were on a small Spanish label, which are more, like rooted in Europe, and the structures there were also only in Europe. They released the first album in America, I think, but it didn't took off too well. So yeah, it always developed, And with the second label we had, which is called Draka Records from Germany, this all developed a little bit bigger, and they had better structures, yeah, with the new one, we joined AFM Records, and now I think it's a more worldwide thing, Yeah, the band is receiving very well in different countries, so that's really, really cool to see for us, at least, because we are like gigging around and doing stuff for like over 20 years now, and finally it's getting noticed by other countries, so that's really great.
Yeah, it is, and I know that when I was telling some people, and I posted a couple of links to some of your videos from the new album, people are like, Mark, where's this band been? They're kind of like me, but this is great because the plus is that you guys have been at it for so long that eventually when you come over to the US, when things open up and you can play shows here, you're going to kick everyone's ass because you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, that would be really awesome to tour in the US, but yeah, we'll see during the whole COVID-19 thing, it's pretty difficult, at least in Europe and in Germany, of course. Yeah, we are like pretty much on hold with everything that is live concerts,
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on over here. Everyone's just kind of waiting for that green light to happen.
Yeah.
And once it does, then we'll kind of see, everyone's basically standing at the starting line waiting for the green light to go and start doing their thing.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and so that kind of brings me to the point with Hellbreaker. Did you guys write this album during the pandemic? Was it done before it, and you waited to release it? What was the timeline like?
Yeah, we started writing it in the first half of or the second half of 2019. So we got some songs ready, and then the whole pandemic happened. So we released a live record in the February of 2020, and then we played like 2 shows or something like that for the live album. For the touring cycle, and then everything was on hold, and so there was kind of frustration going on, because the whole work we put into this live album didn't get anywhere. So we started writing songs again and doing and then we wrote the second half of the album, so to say. And then we have totally focused on getting things done, record it and mix it, master it. And this whole thing happened then in 2020. Yeah.
Okay. And so as you guys were working on the second half of the album in 2020, were there like pockets of time in Germany where you guys could actually be together to work in the studio, or did you have to do it separately?
Yeah, it was kind of difficult. First of all, I have to say we built up a little home recording studio for ourselves, in the basement of Paddy's house, of our new guitar player. And it was the first album ever we did on our own, recording wise. And not to enter a bigger studio. So that turned out a pretty cool idea at the right time, so to say. And and then we met up there only in like with 2 people together in one room, or a maximum of 3 people in one room, and then we recorded it one after another, and it worked out pretty good, and it was a cool experience too. But I think it's cooler to be with the whole band. It's not the real stuff, but it worked.
Okay, yeah, and I know exactly what you're saying because I've talked to especially some other heavy metal, hard rock type bands that they want to get in there and at least do like backing tracks or something as a group so they can kind of get that vibe and that feel because of the type of music that you play. We're not talking about a pop band or something that can just do a bunch of slick, computer type stuff. And
it has to feel real. The thing is, for us, at least due to the COVID-19 thing, you sometimes feeling like you don't have a band at all. Everyone is sitting at home with his families, and okay, we are like Skyping and doing a Zoom conference here and there and stuff, and we also write via Skype and stuff, but it's pretty different and difficult, and it has a difficult feel, because normally you sit in the rehearsal space with everybody involved and stuff, that's pretty weird, but at least it worked out. So
I mean, at least there's I guess the backup alternative of having technology to be able to do things through Zoom, through Skype, and just finding a way to get creative to make this thing work. I mean, and for fans like me, then we ended up with a new album. So it worked out well, and it gives us something to be happy about during this time because everyone needs some kind of silver lining.
Yeah, and that was the thing for us, we really needed to do something, because sitting around for us was too frustrating, and it felt kind of disillusional, We really sat at home, what should we do now? We have a live record coming out, and we aren't able to tour for the live record, and so we really were like a bit angry about the whole situation, and this whole energy, also went into this album. That was pretty good, to have this anger, so to say, in a positive, to channel it in a positive way.
Yeah, and I think it came out in the results that and it's perfect for this type of music, that it's like a little extra angry at times. And I'm curious too, because I know, like, looking through the CD booklet, that you not only do you write the lyrics, but you're also credited for at least like co-writing the music for pretty much every song on this album, at least.
Yes, yeah, it was also one of the first times I was really very, very much involved in songwriting. I always have some output. I work in the night shift. When I work in the night shifts, everything is like pretty still. There's no sound. And then you go around and have these ideas, in your head, and then I whistle it on my cell phone sometimes, and I show it to our guitar player, and he develops the riffs out of it. It's pretty funny, but yeah, it worked at least. Yeah, I'm pretty much into the music too. I play some drums, I play some bass, but it's all about the whistling in the cell phone.
Okay, hey, whatever works. And again, if you got the melody in your head and you get it out onto the phone, and then the guitar player can transcribe that onto the to the fretboard and make it work, then hey, then it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't want to question, don't want to knock it. Just be grateful it comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm assuming then you guys were like maybe throwing ideas back and forth. They actually get the music down for the songs, and then you wait for that, and then you throw the lyrics on top of it.
Right. Yeah. For me, the music has to be finished first. I really, because I'm so involved in this musical thing, I really have to finish up the complete guitar stuff and melodies and everything before I start writing the lyrics. Because my head is too full with riffs and ideas, and I can't come down to write at least a good sentence. So yeah, the music comes first, and then afterwards, when all is clear, then I do the lyrics. And there's an extra thing. It's also pretty difficult because I hate writing lyrics, and I love being a frontman. I love being on stage and singing, and I love the whole thing about it. But when it comes to write lyrics, I really, it's a pain in the ass for me.
Is there ever a chance that someone else in the band could help you write lyrics then?
No, it's pretty pretty difficult because I'm a little bit too, narrow-minded with it. It's like it's super difficult. I really battling it with myself. I'm my worst enemy then. In these times, and yeah, and it works somehow.
Okay, all right. And so with the new album, which is probably similar to some of the past albums, really, what are you writing about lyrically then, even though you don't like doing it? What are some of the topics?
Yeah, I mean, the main topic often is the thing you see on the front cover. We got this Jesus mascot. This for us, we invented Motorjesus, so to say, for the whole band concept. We got the name first, which was a song from the very first Motorjesus album. And yeah, at one point we wanted to have a cover artwork where you see a Jesus in a car, and that was the thing, and then it started from there. We got this album cover with the Pontiac car and the Jesus sitting behind the wheel, and yeah, and then it developed from there, and also lyric wise, We have some, I call it racing lyrics, you know, about some race from here to there, or climbing a mountain, or it's often the themes are often about, you know, battling against something, you know, the battle inside of yourself, the battle good versus evil thing, you know. I really like it, you know, in movies, or I was big into this Masters of the Universe thing, you know, with He-Man and Skeletor, and you know, you have the good guy and you have the bad guy, and they were fighting against each other. And that's the themes we write about, or I write about, you know. It stuck somehow, and and that's because you have the Jesus and the devil on the cover, you know, the good and the evil thing, you know.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And for people that don't have it, then they can see that the booklet looks like this, and there's the car, and there's the devil and the Jesus, and obviously the logo and everything else.
The Jesus is pretty tiny there, but
yep, he's there though.
He's there.
He's
escaping from hell, you know.
I'm just curious, just living here in America and thinking back to like some of the things that bands have gone through here, like especially in the 80s. Have you gotten any kind of religious flack for the name of the band, like from like religious groups, like, hey, this is not appropriate and you're going to hell and all that kind of shit?
Yeah, we have some questions about it, you know. Here and there are people writing us, you know, very often from like South America and stuff, you know, where people are more religious, you know, from Brazil or something, and people are often like asking, hey, what do you mean with this Motorjesus thing, you know? What is this all about? Are you guys religious? Are you Satanists? Are you whatever, you know? And but it's always super friendly, you know. And we try to explain it, you know, because you see, for us it's a fictional thing, you know, based on the name, you know, the whole thing based on the Motorjesus name, you know. And it's not a religious thing for us at all. It's just it's just a visual thing for the band name, so to say.
Yeah, and to me, especially like if you even like listen to part of one song, you'll know that this is, like you said, it's a concept, it's a brand, it's something. It's not like, yeah, you're like holding a seance and, you know, worshiping the devil and a bunch of other stuff. It's like, it reminds me of like 80s rock and roll and metal stuff.
Yeah, and I have to say, Jesus is always the good guy in our stories, you know, in our lyrics. Jesus is always the badass, the cool guy, the winner, you know. So we don't mean to harm anybody with it, you know. It's just about fun and having a good time.
Yeah, and I'm also curious too, since you're there in Germany. I mean, and I've never been to Europe ever, but my understanding is that particular country is really a stronghold for heavy metal, and it has been for years and years and years. Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't really know. I think I'm living really close by the Ruhr area, you know, where bands like Sodom and Creator and the big German names are from, you know. We have a big, strong scene in the Ruhr area, you know, and much of the classical thrash metal stuff developed there, you know. And I think people in Germany are always pretty open-minded, you know, for new stuff and new musical ideas, so to say. Maybe in the 80s, the whole German scene, you know, was like, needed something like that, you know, some thrashy metal stuff, you know, where you can bang your head to, and some rebellious stuff, you know, like the punk scene in the end of the 70s, and there was the metal movement in the 80s, you know. And I think, because of that, because maybe that Germans are so open-minded, and I think that's the reason.
Okay. Oh, I think it's fucking awesome that it's been a stronghold and that it hasn't really wavered over there. I mean, here in the States, things kind of come and go, and they kind of go in cycles. But over there, it's just like, no, like once, at least my understanding is once you're into it, and it just stays that way, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think the metal scene is still doing very strong in Germany. People are really stick to their guns, so to say. When people love a band, they really love them for life, you know. Yeah, but it's the same here, you know. You also have some trend music, or some also in metal or rock and roll. You have also some kind of waves and trends, and something is coming also from overseas. Something is coming, and German people are saying, oh, this is great. For example, Killswitch Engage, a couple of years ago, there was a big thing in Germany, or Slipknot or something like that, you know. It also comes in waves in Germany, but the classical stuff, you know, like the German bands like Creator, Sodom, the old stuff, you know, people stick to them, you know, till the, yeah, I think till the end, you know. It's that's great.
It is great. Yeah, I think it's awesome. And I know with limited time today, I also want to kind of touch on the Live Resurrection album that you put out. And how many gigs was that recorded at? And was that pretty much what the fans are hearing of? Was that truly live, or did you do any kind of studio work to kind of touch up a few things, or what kind of ended up with that product?
Yeah, yeah, the Live Resurrection album was like our very first ever live album. I had my doubts about it, you know, to do a live record at all, you know, because I wasn't pretty sure about it, you know. Yeah, but we tried it, and it worked out okay. And yeah, we recorded it at two venues on two evenings, you know, on 2 days, and then we took the best of both shows and put it together, and yeah, cleared some stuff here and there, but it's pretty much what you hear is pretty much everything is live, you know.
Okay, nice. I love hearing that, and I think most rock and metal bands nowadays are trying to stay that way, where they're not trying to fix too much of it, because then it's not live anymore. It becomes a studio album basically at that point.
Yeah. If it's too fake, you know, it's not my. I think I'm not a big live album fan too. You know, it's like I have at least like 4 live albums in my record collection, which is Kiss Alive 2, and 3 other like Thin Lizzy or the Motorhead Hammersmith album, like classical live albums. But yeah, as I said, I had my doubts about it, but at least we have done it, and then we done a live album. I think after 20 years, you can come up with a live album. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's more than okay at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've been around enough, you've done enough tours, and you've basically gotten your craft honed down to where you can get out there and kick ass basically on stage and then record it live. So yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. And Chris, just to kind of wrap things up, what's coming up for the band? Do we have more videos? Is there potential of a live stream? You have any festival dates? What's coming up right now?
Yeah, we are pretty much discussing it at the moment. You know, everything is pretty unclear in Germany. The situation is still a little bit on hold. You know, we are pretty slow with the vaccination stuff. You know, and everything is going pretty slowly. So we are looking and discussing at the moment what could be done. You know, maybe we do a streaming show. Maybe we do a little nice thing out of the rehearsal space. Maybe we do a filmed rehearsal, so to say, something for the fans, or something just at least to show that we're still alive, you know. Yeah, but we'll see. We have some live shows confirmed, you know, like 1 or 3 live shows we have on hold, but we'll see if they will work out or not. It's pretty unclear. So we will do something, but we're at the moment it's in a planning stadium, so to say.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah, because there are question marks all over the world still. It's more like just people are crossing their fingers and hoping things happen, and if they do, then you can kind of move forward with things. So, everybody, the album again, Hellbreaker, is out. You can buy it wherever you normally buy things. If you're like me, then and like most metal fans, you want like a hard copy that you can have in your hand. So, but if you do digital, that's okay too. I know you guys are at motorjesus.net, correct, for your official site. So you can get more information there. Follow them on their socials. And Chris, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. This is awesome, and I wish you guys every success in the world with a new release.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show. It was a great pleasure to talk to you. Greetings to America. Guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and all the best to you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night over there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.